Oh, what a rush! The Legion of Doom in the WWF 1990 to 1992. When I first got into wrestling in 1989, I was a WWF kid. So for me, the Road Warriors and their phenomenal legacy in the AWA, NWA and Japan was something I missed out on. What I did not miss out on though was their debut in the WWF in 1990. All WWF fans, myself included, were very excited when the Legion of Doom would arrive in the WWF, and today we are looking at their first run in the company. Thanks so much for taking the time to check out this video. If you're a fan of old school wrestling and wrestling in general, be sure to hit that subscribe button with a doomsday device, as I will have more walks down wrestling memory lane real soon. Before the Doom. Okay, so quick bit of backstory here. Before the Legion of Doom would enter the WWF in July of 1990, they had already become one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They formed their team in 1983 when both Animal and Hawk were in Georgia Championship Wrestling. Interestingly, Animal was actually calling himself the Road Warrior before this team started. They had phenomenal success through the 1980s, competing all over the world and being main event talent wherever they were. They had a great run in the AWA before ending up in WCW. All during this time, they would go back and forth to Japan, competing there as well. And in early 1990, according to the Legion of Doom DVD that the WWE put out, Animal and Hawk were having trouble with WCW head honcho Jim Herd, which led to them leaving WCW. Too many warriors. It would be in July 1990 that the Legion of Doom would make their debut in the WWF. Vince McMahon was not keen on the team using the name The Road Warriors, as he already had the Ultimate Warrior, and he just recently hired the modern-day warrior Kenny Von Erich. So, it was decided that they would become the Legion of Doom. Interestingly, on occasion they would be introduced as Road Warrior Hawk and Road Warrior Animal. So, while the team name was not the Road Warriors, this was not gone completely from their act. Face paint combat. Pretty much as soon as the Legion of Doom entered the WWF, they were put in a program with Demolition. While most people have heard the story a million times about how Demolition were the WWF's answer to the Road Warriors, what made this whole thing interesting was just how over Demolition was in 1990. Go back and watch WrestleMania 6, the version with the unedited entrance. You'll see that Demolition during this time were only behind Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan in terms of popularity. I would love to know what you guys think about this, and if you agree that Demolition was just behind Warrior and Hogan during this time. This showed that Vince McMahon knew right away that the Legion of Doom were going to be his top tag team. He had so much faith that he was willing to turn Demolition heel. Also, the fact that Demolition Axe was having health problems and that Crush joining the group did not take off as they would have liked, possibly played a part. These two teams would have matches on many house shows, but the first big altercation that's worth mentioning happened at SummerSlam 1990. The match was a 2 out of 3 falls match between the Hart Foundation and Demolition for the WWF Tag Team Championship. The Legion of Doom were sick of Demolition using their 3 members as an advantage, so they evened the odds, interfered and helped the Hart Foundation take the titles. Never too many warriors. Okay, so we just talked about how the WWF felt that they had too many warriors. One time when this was not an issue was the 1990 Survivor Series. This has to be one of my favourite Survivor Series matches of all time. On one side, you have the Ultimate Warrior, Texas Tornado, and the Legion of Doom. On the other, you have Mr. Perfect and all 3 members of Demolition. This was such a cool match and would really be the end of the run that the Legion of Doom would have with Demolition. What are your guys' thoughts on this awesome match? And do you feel it was a good way to end things with Demolition? Rising high. By the time 1991 rolled around, the Legion of Doom were clearly a major attraction for the WWF. However, during the early part of 1991, they never really featured in any major storylines. At the 1991, during this first WWF run, was a massive disappointment. The Legion of Doom would take on Power and Glory at WrestleMania 7, and the most memorable thing about this match was the funny promo Hawk did before it.
When we get done with you, you'll be sour and gory.
It was nothing more than a squash match. And it is crazy to think that this was the only WrestleMania match the Legion of Doom would have until WrestleMania 13. I always felt that the WWF should have extended their run with Demolition and have this be the match at WrestleMania 7. Do you guys agree? I would love to read your thoughts about the LOD's first WrestleMania appearance. Let's get nasty. It would take a year, but the Legion of Doom would become the WWF Tag Team Champions. They entered a heated feud with the Nasty Boys, who were the WWF Tag Team Champions at the time. Things got so bad that the only way to settle the score was with a street fight for the titles at SummerSlam 1991. This is a really fun match, and one of the first times that we saw the Legion of Doom really tested during their first year. Many people overlook this match, but it is one that I highly recommend you guys check out. This title win is noteworthy also because it made them the first team to hold 3 titles from all of the major organizations that existed at the time. Everybody has a price. Look, we all know that Hawk had major problems with substance abuse issues during his run with the WWF. This would lead to them dropping the tag titles to Money Inc. in early 1992, and the two taking a short leave from the company. It has been stated that they were scheduled to have a major feud with Money Inc. over the tag titles, with a match at WrestleMania 8. This wouldn't happen though, and instead all we got was an interview at WrestleMania 8 where the Legion of Doom would introduce their manager, Paul Ellering. The Legion of Sissies. 1992 would be a strange year for the Legion of Doom. By all accounts, Animal was a pro, but Hawk's problems were becoming a major issue. Still, 1992 would actually feature a pretty cool program between the Legion of Doom and the Beverly Brothers. The Beverly Brothers for weeks were making fun of Hawk and Animal.
The Legion of Doom. You're enormous, you're incredible, but unfortunately you're suffering from a disease called negative momentum.
I trust the Legion of Sissies may be hearing what I say. Quite soon the LOS is going down.
Calling them the Legion of Sissies. They would write this on their opponents' chests, all the while taunting the Legion of Doom. It was fun and entertaining stuff. And as a kid, I could not wait to see the Legion of Doom kick their asses. Unfortunately, this never really went anywhere. Well, that is on TV at least. You see, these matches were mostly taking place at house shows, so the audience at home never really got the big blow-off this feud deserved. It would have made more sense for the two to have a big match at SummerSlam 1992, but that was not the case. Do you guys feel that the WWF made a massive mistake not having the Legion of Doom take on the Beverly Brothers at SummerSlam 1992? Legion of Gold. By the time we got to SummerSlam 1992, Hawk's problems were out of control. The pair would compete at SummerSlam 1992 in front of a massive crowd at Wembley Stadium in London. They had a really cool entrance where they wore gold spikes and came to the ring on motorcycles. It was probably the most badass the Legion of Doom ever looked in the WWF. But little did us fans know that things were falling apart behind the scenes. They had a decent enough match with Money Inc., but there were no tag titles and no real heat to the match. After this, Hawk would just not show up, and this led to Animal having to team up with Crush to finish off the Legion of Doom's last few advertised appearances. This would be the end for the Legion of Doom in the WWF. It is crazy to think that their first run in the company was so short. They shot straight to the top and were a massive attraction for the WWF at this time. It's just such a shame that Hawk could not get his troubles under control. Looking back now, I really do feel for Animal. It must have been a nightmare for him to have to go through all of this. Thanks for watching, and I would love to know what your guys' thoughts on the Legion of Doom's first run in the WWF are. I would be especially interested to hear the thoughts of you guys about their run with the Beverly Brothers. I look forward to making future Legion of Doom videos going into more detail with the other runs they had at WWF, WWE and WCW. Thanks again, and be sure to give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more wrestling content. I'll see you in the next video.